A new survey reveals the stunning impact COVID-19 had on Americans' religious perspectives. The percentage with a biblical worldview has plummeted to just 4%. Dr. George Barna, director of the Cultural Research Center, finds the results of the American Worldview Inventory report alarming.
First of all, much more extensive than we actually expected. Typically, you don't find that religious beliefs change very much. They're probably the most stable of the factors in a person's life because they relate to worldview that's formed when you're young and it doesn't change much as you age.
Dr. Barna adds that crisis moments like the pandemic can also spark surprising shifts.
We found a number of things that changed in terms of their views of truth, their views about God, their own assessment of their spiritual commitment, some of their moral perspectives, going to church, reading the Bible, acknowledging their sins and asking for forgiveness. Those kinds of things all shifted pretty dramatically.
And the changes aren't limited to the secular world. Only 44% of born-again Christians believe Jesus didn't commit any sins during his life on earth, down from 58% in 2020. And the percentage of those who see a God-given calling or purpose for their lives declined by almost half, from 88% to 46%.
We've really got to sit back and think intelligently and strategically about what are we doing in reference to worldview. As we look at that, what we find is parents are doing next to nothing intentionally. Churches are doing next to nothing intentionally. And so what's happening is that every child is out there as a free moral agent trying to figure out the world. And I say child because a person's worldview is almost fully formed by the age of 13. So it's really with children that we have to focus on what are we going to do to develop that worldview.
Digital evangelist Matt Brown, founder of Think Eternity, agrees.
We need to do the things that Jesus told us to do now more than ever, because there's just never been a time that's more important that we preach the gospel, that we share the message of Jesus with the people around us, that we disciple the next generation. It's so important that we give the next generation a biblical worldview.
Dr. Barna believes church closures during the pandemic and other policies left people shaken up and confused. Still, despite the dire numbers, hope remains.
I think we've still got a little bit of a window of opportunity here where people are trying to figure some things out. This would be a great time for disciple makers to say, you know what? I'm going to start speaking to these issues that are on the minds and hearts of people today. I'm not going to go into esoteric theological conversations. I've got to deal with what people are really wrestling with.
And while the situation might seem sobering or even insurmountable, Brown says starting small and clinging to truth can make all the difference. Billy Hallowell, CBN News.